Welcome to the Insight series on personal well-being. Our question for this week is Wellness Big 10, what about preventing low back pain? Number 18. What about preventing low back pain? In 2021, the Centers for Disease Control published data from the National Health Survey that found that 39% of all adults in the US had at least one bout of back pain in 2019. In past National Health Survey findings, some 75% of U.S. employees experienced at least one bout of back pain within a 2-year period. Therefore, we know that low back pain is extremely common and is a primary cause of absenteeism, health costs, productivity losses, and workers' compensation claims. This is from the National Center for Health Statistics, Data Brief 415, published in July of 2021. Now, WebMD, as one of the sources of medical and health information, has identified some 20 ways to prevent low back pain events. We're going to go through each of those 20, and they begin with getting more exercise. This is a critical issue because a lot of our muscle pain comes from either inactivity and or overstressing some muscles because we haven't been very active. So becoming more regular in your physical activity is a good part of a low back pain prevention strategy. Secondly, you want to watch your weight. You'd like to stay within 10 pounds of your ideal weight. When you put on those extra pounds, it puts extra stress on your muscles, musculature, and your frame, and that's what oftentimes strains those low back muscles. 3, if you smoke, stop. When we smoke, we cut down the blood flow to our disc and our spinal cord, and that oftentimes affects how much pain we have in terms of our low back region. The fourth suggestion is sleep well. So that means the position that you take in terms of sleeping. It is felt in general that if you sleep on your side with your knees tucked up toward your head just a little ways, that is one of the best sleeping positions. One of the worst is sleeping on your stomach. So that puts a great amount of stress on your low back muscles. The fifth suggestion is to pay attention to your posture. And good posture is unusual in most people. So the ability for you to stand against a wall and have your your back, your head, as well as your calf and your butt against the wall is what will tell you whether your posture is good. When you stand away from the wall, if you find that you're moving, that's really an indication you need to adjust your regular posture. The sixth suggestion is to start with your seat. So the place that you sit, whether it's a piece of furniture in your home, whether it's an office desk or an executive chair, you start with the ergonomics of that seat. And if you go into your web browser and put in ergonomic suggestions for work desks or chairs, you in fact will find a number of suggestions about how to structure that so that it reduces any of the back pain that you may experience. A seventh suggestion is to check your desk. You want to be able to have the right relationships in terms of how high your hands are when you're typing, where your neck is in terms of seeing the screen that you may be looking at, or how you carry out your regular outdoors work activity. So it's checking, your workplace for its ergonomics and the appropriateness of those ergonomics. The eighth suggestion is to lighten up on laptop use. When we carry around a laptop, we tend to bend our heads down. We tend to do things that are not good for our back. The ninth suggestion is to try not to type on your phone. When you are looking or using your smartphone, if you're doing a lot of typing on it, that causes your body to form into a pattern which can produce low back pain. The 10th suggestion that they have is to take a lot of breaks. So don't do a specific work activity for more than 20 minutes without some sort of movement. So when we stay rigid for very long, we oftentimes can feel that when we get through with muscle strain in various places. And one of the most common places is our lower back. The 11th suggestion is to be careful how you lift. So we want to use our quads and our thigh muscles rather than our back muscles when we're lifting weight, particularly when the weight is heavy. You want to avoid high heels. From the women's perspective, high heels tend to put a great deal of strain on a lower back. 13, stash the skinny jeans. So when we in fact have clothing that is too tight, it restricts blood flow, and that has an effect on our muscles. Fourth, tighten your wallet, or lighten your wallet, excuse me. And that lightening your wallet just means take out a lot of the additional receipts or things that you have in your wallet that create a bulge when you sit. And when you sit on your wallet, you can get low back pain resulting from that. 15th suggestion is to pick the right handbag or briefcase. So we want to have a reasonably light handbag or briefcase. We also want it to have a strap to give us some ability to support it from our shoulders, hopefully not affecting our posture in a bad way when we do that. So that's another one of the suggestions. The 16th suggestion is to forget about back braces. The back braces that we thought were going to help people with low back pain and low back injury have not necessarily shown much scientific evidence of effectiveness. So don't worry about the back brace and use of those if that is part of your strategy for reducing low back pain. 17 is strengthening your abdominal muscles. So our abdominal muscles, when they become weak, allow too much stress on our back muscles. And so that's oftentimes what tends to create some of the pain around low back. The 18th suggestion is to strengthen your back muscles. And if you use a fitness club and there's a trainer there, you can ask about back strengthening exercises. And there are particular machines and particular physics that you can go through, ergonomics you can go through, that will in fact help your back muscles become stronger and more able to sustain the strain that we put on them usually. The 19th suggestion is to stretch often. So when we're stretching, we're helping blood and nutrients to get back into our muscles and to the areas of our body that oftentimes are tight and muscles are tight. So that stretching helps us with the process. Also range of motion, so that we can in fact have a broader range of motion for most of our movement. That will tend to affect some of our low back pain as well. And finally, you want to watch your stress levels. When you become stressed, one of the things that is what's called a somatic complaint is that stress will create tension in your low back muscles. And you can also have long-term tension in particular muscle groups that will give you significant pain. So in summary, there are many things you can do to prevent low back pain events. And you want to pick those items from the list that we just went through that best fit your situation and do them regularly. For more information on this topic, try putting these particular terms into your web browser search engine. Tips for good back care, authoritative resources on back care, how to take good care of your back. Next week, we will address the question, Wellness Big 10, what about financial wellness? We encourage you to live well, live wise, live long.